Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's my pleasure to stand and talk to the Insolvency Practitioners Bill tonight. In fact, it's not very often you get a bill in front of you which is exactly what it is, Insolvency Practitioners Bill. Literally is what this bill is actually about. So it's good to see the title actually reflects what the bill is. This bill is part of the national-led government's focus on improving the integrity of our financial systems. And that is really, really important. It's important that we boost investor confidence and that investors have confidence in our markets. And especially after we've had the collapse of the finance companies, that there's some integrity in there and that they know that if an insolvency practitioner is going to go in and look at a firm, that they've got confidence it'll be done with integrity. I'd like to respond to the previous member's comments, Leanne Dazelle, and she made a couple of really interesting comments. I'm actually really interested to see what's going to happen in the Select Committee when we tease out some of the issues which she raised tonight. And it's really interesting when you listen to a previous minister speak who had this portfolio, who had this initiative and tried to implement it or get it into a bill stage and never actually managed to get there because of advice that they've received previously. And now that we have this bill in the same form that the previous minister was looking at it, and the same issues still sit around it. So I'm really interested to tease out some of the issues which the previous Minister Leanne Dazelle actually spoke about, and that's in terms of why do you need a piece of legislation for such a small number of people? Because in effect, from my understanding, there's only about 100 insolvency practitioners in New Zealand, like Leanne said, and of those, a very small percentage aren't particularly good. So I'd say if you take 5% of 100, that's 5 practitioners that this bill is actually for, which is really interesting. So is it a sledgehammer for a walnut, or is there actually more to it? So I can't actually wait to see the debate within our own Select Committee when we address these issues and get advice on it. Because if we're serious about boosting the confidence in our companies and in our finance sector, we actually have to have these type of frameworks in place. And when I was looking at this bill, I was thinking, why don't we just put it through a reg instead of creating a bill for such a small number of people? And then you come back to, well, where would that framework be to have that regulations? And it would most probably have to be in the Companies Act, and that it isn't there either. So there is a real purpose for having this bill in place to ensure that we have a type of register in place. And when we talk about a register, it's really a reverse register. It's a register for those practitioners which in effect are barred or aren't allowed to practice as insolvency practitioners, as opposed to a register to show who is actually a practitioner, which is quite a unique position to be. And when you look at it, it's quite creative because it is keeping the costs down of all those practitioners because they don't have a register. And it's very easy to find someone who can't practice because there'll be such a small number of them on this register. So I'm looking forward to the debate that we're going to have within our Select Committee. I'm looking forward to the submissions that are going to come forward and talk to some of the issues that have all been really raised tonight. Mr Speaker, I commend this first reading of this bill to the House.
Call clear.